Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about Eclipse Che. Uh, I'm starting with this article on this particular link. So basically, we will talk about the architecture of the Eclipse Che. So Eclipse Che runs on any server. So this is the architecture. So it consists of different workspaces, and within different workspaces we can have multiple projects, and those projects are basically run on Docker machines. So as mentioned here, it is running on an application server like Tomcat. Anywhere in the infrastructure, whether it could be a VM or it could be a cloud native architecture. So so here is the workflow basically. So if you look at the Che workflow, so it consists of a browser, right? And as we have described above, there is a Eclipse Che server, which is basically supported by REST APIs, and after that, there are workspaces, which are nothing but the Docker containers. It can have plugins, right? Projects, and SSH support. Okay, so you can look at this article. I will post this article in the description. And coming to the Wikipedia page. So, for example, Eclipse Che is an open source Java based. It's an IDE, right? It's an online IDE. So you can say that this is a software as a service for integrated development environment, right? It comes with a flexible RESTful web services, and it also contains an SDK for creating plugins, right? So plugins are, you can run your own software development kit inside a container. So for example, if you're writing program from a Tomcat service, so you can you can execute an instance of Tomcat into a container into the Eclipse Che environment. So these are some of the details as of today, 24th January 2021. So this is the stable release, okay, 19th October. So this is the repo. Of course, this is an open source available on GitHub, right? And cross-platform, it will run basically. It's in SaaS, so basically it's running on the SaaS servers, right? And you can access it via any any browser like Chrome, Internet Explorer, etc. So you can have so one of the important things are like the supported languages and frameworks. So it supports almost, there's so many languages it's supporting, right? C, C++, C hash, Java, JavaScript, Python, Ruby, etc. And these frameworks are being supported by Eclipse. And talking about build tools, so Ant, Bower, Maven, etc. It's supporting. So in nutshell, it is supporting all the major languages and build tools and frameworks. So okay, now this this is the Wikipedia page. So let's start. Okay, so go to Google and then, for example, search Eclipse Che. Okay, so this is the Eclipse Che main page. As I was already talking about, that this is a Kubernetes IDE for developer teams. Okay, so you can use this button, start now. Okay, and Eclipse Che, you know is hosted on Red Hat OpenShift, the container management system from Red Hat, right? So it's being hosted, and then there you can create a free account. Okay, these are the two modes in which you can access Eclipse Che. One is the SaaS model, wherein it's already hosted on the Red Hat servers, and you can directly create a free account and start working, or you can install it on any on-premise OpenShift or on-premise Kubernetes system. So the two ways. Okay, then there's some help. So let's start by creating a free account. I already have my account created over here. So when you will first access this website, you might have to fill up a form to create your account. Okay, so I already have my account, so I think it will directly load my dashboard. So now it is basically loading my dashboard. This Eclipse is running on Red Hat servers, Red Hat OpenShift, Kubernetes systems, right? So this is the main workspaces which I have created. So basically two workspaces I have created, one for doing C++ and one for writing some Python programs. So this is at the moment nothing is running. So it's just the main interface, main workspace. So let's talk about this. So if you want to see the details about this workspace, you can click at this settings button, right? So when you click this, you will get the detail uh, about this workspace. So the name of the workspace is this, right? So persistent volume false, which typically means that all the data which I'm writing, and the coding which is happening, it's not being saved into any persistent volume. That means whatever I do in this workspace, it will vanish. So unless and until I save it to to a Git repository, so whatever I do in this workspace, it would vanish in the next execution. So this is the name of the project. Okay, I'm simply using a sample hello world program from GitHub, right? So if you look at this, and let's go to GitHub. So this is one Python program, right? A hello world program. If you look at this program, it is simply printing hello world, and it's storing the word in a string and just printing the hello world. So I'm using this program. I will show this how to run in Eclipse. Okay, so and these are some other details about the memory, and okay, so this basically is telling from where to pull the Docker image for Python. So this is the place. Okay, if we look into this Python 3.7. So it's pulling the Docker image from this repository, right? So I believe this is a Red Hat repo, right? And this is Python for Eclipse Che. So basically, what I'm telling in this configuration is that use this particular Docker instance. Okay, so this was about the workspaces, right? Now let's execute this workspace. I mean, let's run this. Okay, so there's a warning. We're saying that you are executing the workspace in an ephemeral disk, which means that the changes will not be saved. Okay, so basically the here the storage type is mentioned as ephemeral, right? So I mean there are three storage types are available. One is persistent, ephemeral, and asynchronous. So let's see what are these three storage types. So persistent storage means that your workspace details would be saved, but it would be slow because of IO. Ephemeral storage allows faster IO but have limited storage and it's not persistent, right? And asynchronous storage is a combination of ephemeral and persistent storage, right? So you can look into the documentation pages, but at the moment I'm using this storage, meaning that my changes would not be saved. Okay, so let's open my workspace. Okay, so it will take some time, because it is pulling out all the Docker images, and it is also pulling out uh, the Python script, the Python Hello World program from GitHub. So let's see, it will take some half a minute or minute to to build this workspace. Okay, so now the workspace is being opened. So as you can see, these plugins are being executed. Okay, and the Hello World sample program has been cloned out, okay, from GitHub. So this is the program, which I have cloned from GitHub, right? So okay, now it's simple, right? Let's make some changes to this program. Hello, let's write hello to the world. Okay, let's save it and then run it. Okay, now run the current file. Okay, so this is the JSON launch file. Basically, it's instructing this particular ID to run the program. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the console. Okay, and it's doing CD projects, and then it's executing the Hello World Python program. So, and the output is the one which we expected, hello to the world, right? So this is a sample Hello World program. So uh, okay, and then as I said, from here you can configure your various Git or GitHub sources, right? So when for example, if you want to use your own GitHub instance, you can configure it from here, and then write your programs and do check in and check out indirectly in GitHub. Okay, so okay, so that's it. I will close the workspace. Okay, and it will uh, bring me to the same page, right? So that's it from my side.